Hey guys, my name is Freddy or GrimyRannarr. I am a CSGO caster who is English, but I'm based in Dublin right now. I've played CS pretty much for like the best part of 10 years, but I've been casting now for around two and a half. I got introduced to video games pretty early on, to be honest. I've got two older brothers. One's 10 years older than me, one's 7 years older than me. So like when I was growing up, they were playing video games such as like obviously FIFA, a lot of Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Combat Arms. If anyone knows a game, Combat Arms, you get a big in my books, you get like a big like a nice well done, because it's like this old, it's kind of similar to CS of like search and destroy. You don't really have an economy. And like my brother and his friends were like really good at that game, so I used to sit on the end of their bed and watch them play. And then that kind of just progressed of like when they went to university, I would then be allowed to go on the Xbox. I played loads of Call of Duty, and my friends at school also played loads of games. So one day they were like, oh, play Counter-Strike. And I was a big Call of Duty nerd, so I was like, Counter-Strike's so boring, like, you know, you can't move, it's slow, it's too hard. But weirdly enough, that the skins actually really attracted me to the game. I was really fascinated, even like Call of Duty, like getting all the getting like all the golden guns, diamond guns. So then with CS, same thing, but then it costs money, so yeah. And then like I got really into the esports really early on. MLG Columbus 2016 started pretty soon when I like started playing the game, so I watched a lot of that and was just like fascinated by the esports. And then like honestly, it's just pretty much ever since. Like, favorite video game as a kid, and I will still say my favorite video game, the Elder Scrolls like saga, like Oblivion first and then Skyrim. I haven't played too much of the online just because like I'm a bit too busy, but I still play Skyrim like quite regularly nowadays, like properly modded. And that's been a game that like I would have always played. Or just Pokemon. I like Pokemon. That's always been a game I played as well. I would have known esports before CS. Like, and like, so kind of the question about like my brother playing Combat Arms, like you could call that like him playing esports. I really like a tangible, like he was one of the top of his game. So I feel like I was exposed to esports really early on without knowing what it was. I just thought it was like, oh, it's fun, like you just play against each other. And then like I guess like MLG Call of Duty, like that was definitely something that I was first seeing. And then like with CS, it's kind of hard not to have a contact when you play it. So I think like I was always like, I kind of knew what it was, and then in CS like I started to really know what it was. And then the Overwatch League and all these like massive leagues, I was like, this is so cool. I think a lot of casters, we all started being like, oh, we want to play the game professionally. I think I've always I think as soon as I set my eyes on Counter-Strike, I was like, I want this to be my life. And I just tried everything to make it my life. And I kind of ended up here type thing. Like, this is where it ended up. Which is kind of ironic because, like, I had a stutter the majority of my life. Even, like, when I, like, kind of just before I started casting. So, like, casting would not have been the career path that I would have assumed I would have gone into. But I always wanted to be in CS. And I tried playing for multiple years, and then I started streaming, and then the streaming like segued into casting, and I've always wanted to be like a professional gamer, and it just gets heightened pretty much every day now because like it's a reality, I guess. So this is super nerdy. Again, older brothers, played RuneScape a lot when I was younger. Still watch it, don't play it that much anymore. Just it's so time consuming. But so a Rannarr is like a herb in RuneScape, and then a GrimyRannarr is a dirty herb, and like you clean it to get experience and like herb lore experience. So I used to just be called Rannarr, and then like my brother gave me the nickname. We all had nicknames we'd like. So my other brother was like TouchKO7, Tokus999, and then I was Rannarr. So then I added the GrimyRannarr or GrimyRannarr because like I felt like it. This is a pretty weird one. So I went to university 2021 September, and I had been grinding CS. Like I was playing like high to mid inters. I was streaming a lot, and like I was doing well on stream. Went to uni, and like I was just like, I actually can't be asked to play anymore because it's so time consuming, and it's like I want to enjoy life a little bit. And then maybe like 2 months into uni, I see a tweet. Neokai, the caster, was like looking for casters this time, and Swaggy, who's a UK player who's now retired, who's one of my very close friends. I tracked back my whole career to him tagging me in this post and telling Neo to get me on the cast. And then it was CEE Champions 2021, and I casted with Anthran and Kremer on the first day. Never casted in my life. It was just 4 best of ones, and they both came away and they were like, fuck, that was really good. Like, that was actually pretty good. And especially Anthran. Well, to be fair, both of them were incredible. And they were both, like, really helpful early on. And they were, and then while Deity in that tournament as well was like, bro, like, you need to continue. Like, you have to continue. Like, don't do this as, like, a one-off. And, like, a big part of it was, like, I saw the money I'd made as well. I was like, I've made more money in 3 weeks than I have in 4 years of playing. And I was like, okay, so this is actually, firstly, it's actually viable. Secondly, I've got all these really cool people like helping me so much. And then I like went into 2022 and I was like, let's go. Let's do it. Full throttle. First real moment, I think like I can track it back to that tournament probably. It was like semi-finals, me and Wildeity, and like we both just crushed it. And like I came away and he was like, bro, that was so good. And it was like a 4-hour best of 3, and we ended at like 2 a.m. and he was like, man, that was so good. And I still like think about being like, that was like, that gave me the like motivation to want to do stuff. I honestly like just grinding up, like you hit so many milestones because there are so many to hit, and it's like the first time you do this, the first time you do that, and it's like they all stick with you. Some you forget about for a time, but they always come back. In casting, I wouldn't say my biggest achievement in casting, I don't know, probably Device's comeback. That was pretty cool. But that wasn't like an achievement. That was like, I just happened to be put on the game. I don't know. I guess just like being here is the biggest achievement. But then like looking else at like other achievements, like, you know, like I've been on analyst desk, CCT LAN. That was pretty, like, that's a pretty big achievement in my perspective. And, you know, like I've been a part of interview wise, some pretty big interviews. Like I interviewed Carrigan. I was the only English press apart from HLTV to get an interview with Carrigan after they won IM Cologne last year. You know, like I interviewed Magisk after they won the major, Monacy after they won Katowice. I did like, I've done loads of interviews, and I feel like being at those events is definitely a big achievement for me, because I was like, it can be like quite scary to get into those environments, as like the press room like it's quite small, everyone knows each other, and I like rocked up being like, what's up bitches, and like I've kind of cemented myself in there a little bit, and I found my place with like the interviews. So that's a pretty big achievement in my eyes, because I really enjoy doing that. And with casting, it's quite hard to put like one, like with casting, it's unless you do like a major final or a IM Katowice final, it's really hard to put like a specific one achievement, because in the end it's just like the fact that I get to do this full time is the achievement. Yeah. This actually didn't happen that long ago. This is pretty recent. So for context, so as I said before, I live in England, and I'm English, but I live in Dublin. I'm right now in England at home with my family for summer. Where I used to live was like 6 stories apartment block, and the windows were like floor to ceiling. So like the whole wall was a window basically. and I was casting. It was a long day. It was the end of the third map of the second best of 3. We were in like a tech pause. Me and Retro were talking about like school. Like, I don't know what we were talking about. It was, you know, like you get stage where like you're 8 hours in and you're waffling, and I am tired, and it was an early game, so like I'd woken up like at 7 a.m, which to me is early, and it was like 5 p.m, and I'm sitting in my chair, I'm like casting like this, I'm like relaxing, and I like kind of look to my right, and as I said, I'm on the 6th floor. Fucking like the windows are like the whole wall. I look to my right and there's a window cleaner just like in the window, and like he like I can tell he was just like, and so like I close my windows when I go on camera, but then like, or like my blinds, and then I open them because it's like really nice to get the natural air in, and like I literally just sit there and I go fuck, and just like fly back on my chair, and just like completely fall off my chair, and I'm like as I fall, there's someone at my window, and you can just hear like that, and then just like silence, and there's like, if you watch the VOD back, it's like 10 seconds of just like nothing, and Ryan just goes, I hope Freddy's okay. So we're gonna go to a break. I hope he's okay. And like that was a moment where like I came away, I was like, oh my god, I swore on stream. And then I was also like, to be fair, I thought I was being broken in. So I feel like it's a little bit like, it's not, I feel like it could be worse. Got 2, I think. The first one is like really weird. So, and it was like, I was like gassed about it for weeks, and I still am, to be honest. So like, I feel like so obviously I go to university, and the people who watch CS are probably the people who go to university, like competitively. So I feel like I'm always surrounded by people who might, like, if there's going to be someone who recognizes me, it's going to be someone at a university, I feel like. And I was hosting a party one time, and like walks in some of my friends, and they're like, oh, like here are some of our friends, and like I'm like, oh, what's up, how are you? And one of them he just stands there, he just looks at me, goes, have we met before? And I'm like, don't think so. And he's like, do you do Twitch? And I'm like, I mean, like, I don't do Twitch, but like I cast CS. He was like, oh my god, what'd you cast? And like, I showed him people cast. He's like, I watched you cast before. And it was just like the most random. I was like, that is so cool. Like, I'm just having a party, and some random guys walked in and recognized me. And I thought that was like, and all my friends were like, what the fuck? Like, who are you? But I guess like a pretty cool thing I've spoken a little bit about, of like the journalism and like the interviewing, of like just being at events and not realizing people know who you are. Like I still, like, you know, I still think I'm a nobody, and then like going to an event and like a player being like, oh hey, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, you know who I am. And it's like, it makes me feel good inside. And like just events in general, like it's an unexpected cool moment in the Lux. Like I did my first international event basically this time last year, and to like have had so many ticked off now, it's like, that's pretty cool. Like I wouldn't have expected that. And yeah, it's just like a bit busy, and it's a bit hard sometimes traveling so much, but like pretty cool. So I always have something where like I always kind of say like 15-year-old Freddy would be really proud of me. And I feel like that is like, and it sounds really bad, but like I could stop now and I'd be so happy with what I've achieved. Obviously I don't, but like I'm at, you know, like as a like 15-year-old Freddy would be very proud of me. It's like I never thought I'd even come close to this, let alone like the stuff I've done. Like it blows my mind every time I do it and stuff like that. But I think I just want to continue. Like I don't want to stop. Like obviously I kind of said like I could stop and be happy, but like obviously I wouldn't. I think my goals are just like, I believe I could get to a major one day. I don't know in what way, as like on the talent team. I don't know what way it'd be, but like I believe I could be there one day. And I feel like that's something that like I probably won't stop until I get it. And like it'll take a while, like it'll take a good couple years, but like just slowly going through the processes. Like maybe I become more of an analyst, maybe I do more interviewing, but like casting seems like it's going to take me there, and it's something I enjoy doing the most. And I think that like I just kind of want to like leave my mark in one way, and then get to a position where I can make a change potentially in the world with like the following. I think that's something that like I want to have in the future. And like, yeah, I feel like just continue doing what I'm doing, and I just want to hit the highest of the heights and just make myself even more proud than I already am. And also say to everyone around me, fuck you, because no one thought I could do this, and here I am. So like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. If you do want to check out my socials, they'll be in the description down below, and I hope to see you very soon on a CCT broadcast.